What's going on, guys? Today's video is a fun one. We're finally installing the parts onto this new engine. I'll also be going over how we came across this engine and how some people might think it's very controversial to spend money on this. Some of the notable parts that we'll be installing are the HKS cam gears, Fluidamper, our Theory parts, Kraken low mount manifold, all kinds of fun stuff that are meant to make this engine as fast and safe as possible. So stick around to the end and let me know what you guys think, because by the end of this video, we will be at a state that is ready to be dropped into the car. Let's get one thing off our chest real quick before we start anything. Everyone knows that 1.6 boys are a little special. And so naturally, I definitely couldn't leave them. So this is a 1.6 forged 1.6. And yes, I know the 1.8 is better for boost. It's better all around, but who cares about the stats, right? I couldn't leave the 1.6 boys like that. But on a serious note, I kept a 1.6 because I wanted to stay true to the car. This is a 90. I had that short nose 1.6 and I just didn't want to upgrade to a 1.8, you know? Like I said, we're a little special. It's finally time, the moment I've been waiting for months and months, almost a year at this point. The engine is out of its resting point over there in the corner. We're going to install the water pump. We're going to leave the coolant neck because I have a delete plate for that. We do have a Fluidamper that I'm going to install. I have to double check the oil pump bolts, make sure they're all torqued down. You guys know the saying, buy once, cry once. Well, I'm more of a buy twice, cry twice kind of guy. So here we have the two versions of water pumps. We have a stainless impeller Gates model here that you can find pretty much anywhere. I believe Flying Miata sells these on their website. Here we have a cast impeller water pump from Nap Motorsports. And I know there's lacking data on which one's better or documented better, but I want to go with the cast because I know that Nap uses them in their builds and I really respect their builds and their quality of work. I binge watched their engine build video that's like 5 hours long, probably watched it like 10 times by now, and so I just wanted to be safe than sorry. Again, there's nothing wrong with using the stainless steel one. I know most people use these on their builds. And my original plan was I was going to just, I was going to rebuild my short nose 1.6 over there, sat in the corner. And so I didn't really need anything fancy. I just wanted a replacement. So that changed. We're going to go with this unit. And then also, to keep on with the buy twice, cry twice theme, I ended up picking up the oil pump bolts OEM from Boffy Racing because the guy who I bought the engine from said it was missing a bolt and they weren't torqued down yet. And so that I bought those, and then I was buying the water pump. I was like, hey, Nap has these awesome zinc bolt kits that will match everything, and it's every bolt that I need for the front of the engine. And so I wanted everything to look nice, and I just went ahead and picked these up. And I really like that it's all labeled, which helps me out tremendously because the last thing I want to do is have a bunch of bolts and be like, I don't know where the heck they go. So we're going to use these and the cast water pump there. This is not a sponsorship by any means. I just, like I said, I really respect the work that they do. Got our cast water pump. We have a OEM Mazda gasket, and this is just to help ease installation. The other option would be using RTV. Making some good progress. We got the water pump all on. We got it all torqued down. Everything's marked. I almost made a massive mistake and almost put the crank bolt on and torqued it down without putting the timing belt on. So make sure that you at least hang the timing belt. And I will be using the HKS timing belt. Sure, it advertised it's stronger, grips the cam gears better, but I got it because it's purple. And I also got the purple cam gears, which you guys will see in a moment. It's not always about what's cheapest. Sometimes you splurge and get the purple timing belt. I'm not going to be running any of the timing covers, but I still need the marks. So I chopped up my timing cover and I just drilled some holes through it, and then I'm going to bolt it on, stick pencil through, mark the head here, and that should work fine. Got the engine all timed up, got the cams on, everything's torqued down, looks great. I'm not going to be running any covers because I want it to be open. Just looks better in my opinion. I got lucky and got these cam gear bolts from this guy Alex on Instagram who runs a shop called Speedworks Garage. I'm not sure if he still produces them. You might be able to get lucky and message him on Instagram. These are exactly what I was looking for, and I originally thought I was going to powder coat them to match the valve cover, which you guys will see in a second. But the fact that this outer ring on these cam pulleys are polished, it just made sense. Next up, we're installing the water pump pulley. I picked this up from Theory. I originally was going to powder coat this again to match everything else, but just like those bolts, it just, in my opinion, looks better in this sort of brush slash polished look. It looks real good. I also got the alternator pulley over there. I had to get the 1.8 alternator pulley, of course, because I am running the Fluidamper. And Arthur was super cool because they saw my order and they're like, hey, I just want to make sure that you got the one for your car because, you know, they knew I had a 1.6. So shout out to them. Not a sponsorship, of course. The other thing I got was because I am not running a lower timing cover, you don't really have anything to, you know, any timing marks besides obviously they're right here. But this just Send It Designs. I found them on Etsy because I knew someone would have to make this. Like, it's so simple. And I thought about, like, I could just chop up the lower timing cover, but this looks a lot better, so it'll just sit on there. Just to be 100% clear, I have no sponsors, and so all of these products that I mention in my videos, I choose them because I buy, or I try to buy, from people who care about the community, especially creative, smaller brands. Obviously, you know, HKS, I wish they're my sponsor, but if you guys ever see me mention a product specifically, like I did with the cam bolts, I did with the water pump pulley, I did with this little timing guide, it's just because I think they are making quality products and they seem like they care. If I ever do take a sponsorship, I'll be 100% transparent about that. Up next, we got the front Waterneck block off plate we're going to install since we're running the coolant reroute. We're going to put some new studs in for the Kraken low mount manifold, and I'm gonna put on the valve cover because I'm so excited. It looks so good. I've waited so long to see how it looks. I've had that thing powder coated for like 4 months, and so we're gonna mock it up. We're not gonna officially put it on yet, but we're gonna let it sit because this is probably the most excited I've been since this whole build started. For this Waterneck Delete, I'm also installing a freeze plug because I want double protection. So I have freeze plug and then I have the block off plate as well. I saw online that people were saying that just the freeze plug alone could pop off. So why not double it up? All right, guys, it looks so good. Look at this. Shit. It looks so good. And I'm not, I'm not even mad that I already ruined the valve cover because I was cleaning the underside with the brake parts cleaner because I wasn't sure if they cleaned it after the powder coat. And the last thing I want is to start it up and then there's a bunch of sand or glass shavings in there. There's a couple little spots where it's a little different color, but it's okay. I'm so happy with it. I got the Nilex oil cap. I wanted to go with like an M2 one, but let's be honest, I'm not spending $300 on an oil cap. And I forgot where I picked this up from. the coil on plug plate somewhere on Facebook, I guess. One of the vendors was selling it through there. And I was worried it wouldn't match the purple, but it matches pretty good. We have one more thing to install, the mixing manifold from our Theory, which was really cool that they came out with this because I had some little welded one that looked horrible, but it's going to sit on there. I don't have the valve cover bolts on, and I don't have the gasket in there yet because I want to put that one back on. That way when I drop it into the car, I don't have to worry about the engine leveler scratching it, which I would be even more sad. So I can't afford to make any more problems on that valve cover. Not much to film here, just got the studs out, and I got the new studs here. Got these from Griffin Tech. Got the studs installed. These are pretty cool that they have a Allen key setup on this end, so it's really easy to install. We're gonna get the Kraken low mount manifold painted. I've had this for like 5 years and it's not too dirty, but I do want to paint it. So we're gonna go for the VHT flame proof. I originally wanted to get it Cerakoted, but that was too pricey, so this will do for now, and should hold up for at least a year. And it's not too bad to take this off if I need to repaint it. Hit it with the brake parts cleaner, and then that same wax and grease remover we used in previous videos. After that, we're gonna mask off the surfaces we don't want paint on, paint it, and then toss it in the barbecue. Because according to the directions, you need to bake it at 250 for 30, 400, and then 600. So we're going to get all that done. As always, we have Leo here to supervise us. While the manifold bakes in the grill, we're going to be replacing the hardware on the GT2560. So this is the same one that I had before. Just wanted to put some fresh hardware on there since I had to take everything off because I got the compressor housing powder coated to match the valve cover. So that'll be nice. And then the lines, the oil line is fine, the oil drain line, because it's in the same position, but on this new engine, the oil feed line, there's not a bolt right by the dipstick, so I'm gonna have to find a different way to feed it some oil.
Right now? On the spot.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I bought this new wastegate actuator from Boffy Racing because it looked better, I'll be honest. And I am trying to figure out how to fit it. It looks like this one will fit if I can get it to mount correctly. I got this from A2P Turbo. It was just like a generic mount for the 2560 or I think GT20 series. It fits really well. I just had to flip the bracket around because I had it the other way. And so I flipped it and adjusted this and it fits pretty good. It's the next day and we're just doing some last minute touch up, paint, whatever you want to call it. In case anyone watching this wants to restore or just replace like the thermostat from Super Miata, the coolant reroute, it's like fused together from the gods themselves. So the only thing that worked is I heated up and then I put a screwdriver into the bottom. I pretty much just slammed it on that thermostat there and eventually it popped off. We got her all mocked up. It's not bolted on yet because I want to get the lines before I bolt it up because I don't have to squeeze in there and try to fasten the water lines or the oil line. So we're gonna use a rope and measure how long of a line I need. As far as everything else goes, I can do that with this in the car. I need to sort out how I'm going to get my alternator because I don't have one and I need a 1.8 alternator. But that shouldn't be too hard. It's just finding one that isn't effective since nowadays alternators are pretty much trash, not even rebuildable anymore. So we're gonna look at different models that we can use or maybe upgrading to a RX-7. Who knows? I still have a lot more research to do on that. We picked up our fittings from Color Fittings yesterday. It was easy. I was able just to go to the storefront since it's local, which is awesome. I got the pre-built because I just wanted it to be done and done correctly. So I picked those up and I measured with rope, kind of just like mocked it up to where it needs to go. So hopefully it lines up as it should. But once we get those on, we'll be able to drop the engine in the car. That's going to wrap things up for this video. Let me know what you guys think. 1.6 boys, you know I'm never leaving y'all. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe. Feel free to DM me on Instagram if you have any questions as always, and we'll see you in the next one where we'll be dropping this engine into the bay.